Hey guys, Rinji here. Once again, bring you the worst out of the VTuber community. And as the saying goes, the more things change, the more they remain the same. As is with a little phenomenon from a decade past called Gamergate. Those that you don't know, Gamergate was a movement by gaming consumers that wanted a more fair approach to gaming journalism, where journalists didn't collude with one another in order to smear gamers as bigotist, sexist, misogynist, wanting to chase out women and other minorities out of gaming. Well, dear viewers, now we are at the precipice of something even dumber, because Vice, yes, that thing that is still alive and is still somehow producing articles. The publication Vice, now owned by Waypoint, is now on a crusade against evil, right-wing leaning VTubers. You may ask yourself, well, what spurned all of this on? Well, there's this little independent VTuber by the name of Kirsche Versthal has got in the sights of one of Vice's journalists, Anna Valens. And Anna Valens, as Anna Valens does best after her Valor article, because that's another thing that Anna Valens also did. I have a stream about both of these things, about Kirsche's hit piece and about Valor's hit piece as well. Watch that after you're done with this video. I highly recommend it for a lot more context if you're missing that. But either way, Anna Valens went on a little crusade that spawned out of the article, but also landed itself on social media, where Anna has been advocating for Kirsche to essentially be deplatformed, use her sponsors, and everything else at the same time. And of course, kicking the proverbial hornet's nest doesn't end up very well for people on the internet, especially when when you're going after someone they like. So what does that result in? Well, plenty of death threats, of course, plenty of vitriol, and also critique, which of course they do not see. They just see the death threats from like irrelevant accounts, but all of them are very much labeled as either Valor or Kirsche fans, and of course that is going to be reflective of Kirsche's content, because that's how the internet works. It's all very fair. And as that was happening, as this wave of harassment was descending upon Anna Valens for all of these articles, well, another one dropped just today, but not from Anna Valens herself. It's from Waypoint's very own managing editor. Yes, one of the head honchos behind all of this has decided to stand with Anna Valens against this incredible harassment that they're facing. But that's not everything, because this went a little bit further. So let's read this article and see what is up with it. Waypoint stands with Anna Valens. It's time to definitely stand on business and say that what's happening to Waypoint on Anna Valens is utterly unacceptable. Dwayne Jenkins, yes, that managing editor of Waypoint, with a little screenshot on the right, as Anna Valens is getting recommended quote-unquote gifts in the Throne account suggestion bar, and it's a lot of rope, with the comment on this saying, harassers are now sending me suggestions to buy rope over Throne, for when 41% is too low, referencing to transgender suicide rate, essentially telling Anna Valens to use that rope means of ending her life. Let's continue reading the article. Often when faced with an immense wave of hatred, it's easy to cower, capitulate, allow them the satisfaction of knowing they've broken. But then, along comes people like Anna Valens, who willingly throws herself into the fires of humanity's worst. Shine a light on how often rotten certain sections of the internet are. For again, this properly, I warn everyone. Trigger warning! For posts celebrating and advocating for suicide and the death/subjugation of marginalized people. Here's one of Ala Valence's tweets. Streamers, YouTubers, journalists, anyone who wants to cover this. I'm getting constant calls to kill myself from right-wing VTuber fans and gamers. Of course, you have to include the gamers in this. It's not a proper Gamergate reference without referencing gamers again. It's a full-blown harassment campaign against me, linking several screenshots that include those references to 41%, or for them to just outright end themselves. Let's continue reading. Though, for the necessary full context, please read Anna's piece on the harrowing, continuing harassment she's been facing, which involves going to the worst places on the internet like 4chan and 8chan and expecting not to be called slurs over there. But again, I covered more of that in my stream, my live stream. Do check it out. There's plenty of context where you need it. Let's continue. She's much better at properly articulating the full scope of everything she's going through. I'll sum it up. Anna is being attacked for simply asking questions about certain areas of VTubing community. Yes, asking questions while painting people in the worst lights possible. Not only omitting certain context, but also misconstruing certain things about the subjects that Anna has covered. But again, more context in my streams. Anna is being attacked for simply asking questions about certain areas of the VTubing community, which she has an active part of. What began as asking about Vialur stances of trans creators, working for them spiraling into a full-blown hate campaign, was Anna's targeted questioning why prominent VTuber Kirsche was being promoted and represented by gamer subs, following many worrying red flags. Since then, Anna has been receiving vitriol from nearly every corner of the internet. For the sake of everyone's sanity, I refuse to give those people power by explicitly naming them. Those people. I like that we're already beginning the othering of people that may have concerns about Anna's style of reporting. But again, this is the same kind of modus operandi that journals had during Gamergate, so there's nothing new in those tactics, at least. You won't be receiving that satisfaction here. Instead, I'm going to let everyone have a little sampler of what's been going on over the past week or so. I'm sorry for what I'm about to show y'all. I love the y'all in a major publication on the internet, y'all, from the managing editor as well. But linguistic peculiarities aside, this is also another example of proper journalism, because let's look at these screenshots, like one's from Reddit, one's from Kirsche's X Twitter account, and while one is a thumbnail screenshot from Leafhead and Asari's YouTube channel. And if you want to know the full context behind this very weird thumbnail, Leafhead has explained it on the YouTube channel, on their very own YouTube channel. Because when you're doing proper journalistic work, you provide people with just random screenshots, say where it's from without linking it to where it's from, without also providing context to when and why all of this happened and what it actually entails, because some things aren't as clear-cut as they seem to be. Like, for example, here on this Reddit post, which you have to also notice is from the subreddit of r/war. Well, I wonder why this one particular journalist by the name of Anna Valens frequents that particular, subreddit. King shaming aside, because all of this is some very weird sexual ritual as well. But again, that's a little bit of my fury there. There's a user on Reddit saying, reply to your comment in r/war. You're a man. You cannot be a lesbian. And then we have Kirsche's tweet saying, based, I've been saying this for ages. Some hide quote is eternal. When we win, do not forget that these people want you broke, dead, your kids sexually assaulted and brainwashed, and they think it's funny. Ending on with Leafit's family from YouTube. And again, Kirsche's tweet does not provide any context. But there's no context provided anywhere. There's source screenshots Twitter without actually linking to the Twitter. You just have to, you as Vice's readership, as their audience, you have to figure out what it means on your own. But again, that picture has been already painted for you. These are example of that right-wing bigotry that Anna Valens has experienced over the past few days since dropping these articles. But then it's continued and it gets a little bit more unhinged as far as that goes. So here's the deal. Anna's ongoing plight. It's reached critical mass. The people advocating for Anna, anyone belonging to the LGBTQIA+ communities, and the other marginalized groups to endlessly suffer. I like that they included other marginalized groups as well as the full alphabet in there, as if this is what it's about, without actually showing examples of all of these people going after these specific groups. But accuracy be damned. It's just broad stroke approaches, because that's how it works in modern quote-unquote journalism. But you can see that this is a pure tabloid opinion piece. It has nothing to do with any kind of journalism. It's not even yellow journalism at this point, even though it does push its own agenda for personal reasons. This is just a glorified blog post of a very angry man advocating for what? Well, let's continue to find out. It's only one part of a truly disgusting equation. There are other equally important parties. Why are clear, unambiguous bigots and racists allowed major platforms? Why are they given sponsorships and brand deals? Because, it's not that the sponsors aren't doing their due diligence and checking. It's because maybe the people you're trying to portray as these completely evil, bigoted, right-wing pieces of garbage, maybe there's a little bit more to their character than that, But cancellation attempts on social media always work like that. It's all very tribalistic. It's all about portraying the bad guy as the worst guy possible. Literally Hitler, reincarnation of him, if you think about it like that. Again, let's continue. Because we can bicker back and forth online all day long, but at the end of the day, the likes of YouTube, Twitch, and every other notable space that allowed this to thrive and fester, these are the ones who need to be forced to come out and say, yes, this is the kind of content you want, and will subsist from going forward. For all y'all, this is like the third time already. Goofy racists and bigots, I don't have the time to address you directly. Reason won't work with you. We all lost cause, but I know that Anna, and myself as a black man, wants every notable platform, from games journalism to the games industry and even other major media company. Own your stance. You will not be allowed. Just listen to this. Read this for yourself. You will not be allowed to sit on the fence any longer. Yes, even you, even you, person that just wants to enjoy VTubers in peace. If you're quiet, you're complicit. But the internet and 2025 is, well, current year. Own your stance. You will not be allowed to sit on the fence any longer. Either you reprimand and punish the bigotry, racism, and hatred, or you come out and admit that it's exactly the audience legacy you want. Holy unhinged. The time for games is over. It's very funny that Gamergate also was like this, like gamers are over. For all of you older people out there, no, not you young whippersnappers. It was a headline with gamers are dead, and then there were plenty of other articles going and writing the same things. Sometimes even word for word, just kind of admitting, not even hiding, that journals are colluding in groups and pushing a narrative. Accurate reporting be damned. Unbiased reporting be damned. All of that shit doesn't matter. Just create a huge fucking controversy out of virtually other people's very valid complaints, and then you just, you know, relish in all of the clicks and all of that delicious ad revenue you get from it, because that's how it works. Let's end this, dear viewer. Time for game is over. Twiddling your thumbs and pretending it isn't sufficient. Sure, it's Anna today, but after the LGBTQIA+ issue has been dealt with among the crowd, it'll be the Browns, which is currently happening too. Then the Blacks, hate has a tendency to do that, become an ever-growing pit that'll never be satisfied. Oh yes, those right-wing VTubers that you're inventing, they're coming for you, colored people. They're not gonna be watching VTubers anymore. They're gonna be radicalized by your right-wing VTubers, and then they're gonna go out into the streets and form lynching bands. This is the future that you chose. If you do not act, you do not do anything, you're complicit in the future murder of minorities. Insane. Fucking insane, man. Because they need an opponent. For many of them, hatred is their brand. It's all they have to make up for the fact that without it, they have nothing. Well, what about playing video games and talking to your chat? I think, considering, for example, Kirsche, because Kirsche is the main subject of here, all she does is play fucking video games. In fact, other than just, you know, reading articles that are pretty out there during her streams, Kirsche plays games all the time and chats with her audience. What do you mean, nothing? Kirsche doesn't have much hatred in her heart, or at least she didn't until you guys started coming after the things that she loved. But now, you know, them's the breaks, I guess. There certainly isn't a personality worth being around underneath all that filth, after all. They're classical bullies. Yes, these people are the bullies, not the guys consistently trying to take away their sources of income and methods on which they can talk about anything. You're completely deplatforming them. Yes, those guys are the bullies. They're just keeping to themselves until you guys come along and decide to kick them out because you don't like the things that they say, and try to portray them as evil people because of the things that they believe. Yeah, it's none of that, because those bigots, those are the bullies. And they crave your engagement. So rather than engaging them personally, you engage them the forces funding and feeding their nonsense. The ball is in everyone else's court now. Choose. What an unhinged motherfucker. Jesus Christ. The managing editor of Tripping Vice, Waypoint, is just doing a call to action to deplatform and defund the people they don't like. The people they themselves label as bigots. Conveniently, of course. This is where we at, dear viewer. VTuber Gate. Let's fucking go. But for right now, that's everything. And I will see you on the front lines, I guess. Take care.